Good. So welcome to the second panel of the Impact Investment Summit today at the WBNF Congress of the second day. I will present the participants of the panel. We are having today great, powerful women of the world doing for us the panel, which we have titled as Empowering Women Financially, the Why and the How. The great women who will present and talk for 1 hour in front of you today, and this will really be an exclusive talk, are first of all our moderator, Ms. Tuba Terekli, our High Commissioner for Saudi Arabia and International Executive Consultant and angel investor. So Tuba will moderate. Thank you, Tuba, for putting the panel together, and please take your seat. Apart from Tuba, we are honored to have with us Ms. Leila Alaton, the president of Alvi Medica and board member of at Alarko Holding from Turkey. Welcome, Ms. Alaton. Then we have Ms. Tian Mergen, founder and president of Power of Happiness platform, also from Turkey. And Ms. Gordana Nikolic. Gordana Nikolic is a WBNF senator from Croatia, from my home country, and founder and dean of the Par University College and Business Academy from Rijeka. I wish you all the best, and I wish you enjoy the next 1 hour.
Thank you so much for a great intro, as always, and your positivity. So I am very blessed. The three ladies I wanted to meet, and a lot of the ladies that we have in the female investment group have been brought here by the great board of WBAF and BIBAR, so I have to thank you all for bringing us together. What is very crucial is that we are of similar wavelengths, and I think that is the power of WBAF. Today, we're going to discuss in this panel the fact of financial inclusion. With me, I have three amazing powerhouses. I don't know who to introduce first, so as the Arabs go, I'm going to start from the right side of the panel. And Gordana, if I may start with you, you have, so I don't know how to brief this intro on Gordana. But I am just going to say a couple of the words. She is currently the dean of Par University. It's a college that has an amazing center for innovation and entrepreneurship. She built it. She owns it. She is still the only woman in Croatia to own a university, which is a big moment in itself. She has received so many awards, the list goes on, but the most important one for her is the Woman Entrepreneur of the Year in Croatia in 2014. And apart from her management, apparently, she does not show with her beauty and looks, but she's a total nerd. She has over 40 scientific and professional papers, and she co-authored several books. And she is a part of the program and organization committee of International Leadership Conference at PAR. We're all invited, as she says. She was selected among the top most influential 100 Croatian leaders. And she has, of course, done a new project called DigiPark, which was selected by the European Commission from around 137 participants as one of the best in class. And Ms. Tijan. Tijan is the founder and president of Power of Happiness platform. I want you to take that in for a moment. A lady who goes out after 30 years in corporate work and finds a business called Power of Happiness. Hats off to you. Okay. Apparently, happiness is also a lot of work, so she's going to share some of that experience with us. And she has had, of course, on her background is IT, sales, marketing, Businesswoman of the Year award, no doubt. And what she has been doing with all the NGOs across Turkey and the region is immense work. And of course, Miss Leila Alaton, one of my favorite people on LinkedIn. If you are not on LinkedIn, and you know, I probably pushed like to all her videos. You should watch her video series. She is a powerhouse. Of course, Miss Leila, by all the hard work she presents to the global community in business, has also achieved Légion d'honneur, which is a rare moment from the French government to honor the person who has contributed so much. So she wears a medal, and she is also, of course, a part of, in Turkey, she is very well known for her contributions in KAGDER, which is the Kadın Girişimci Derneği, the Women's Entrepreneurship Platform. And she is with the Association of Young Business Owners and Executives, GYIAD, in Turkey. And she has been the judge of Cartier Woman Initiative Awards. She is actually very well known as the leader of an organization that does healthcare technologies, which is, of course, a very difficult field for women as well. And we have some healthcare entrepreneurs. You know how difficult that field is. And it's immersion in innovation and technology and bringing that forward. And she's the mother of 2 children. That's, I think, the best title of all. 2 boys. Any kids on this side? Any balancing acts? 2 boys. I got 2 boys and 2 girls. So, Gordana? And a daughter-in-law. Oh, wow. So grandkids on the way. Okay. So as you can tell, they have been through a lot to get to where they are, and that's what we want to find out. So first of all, Leila Hanım. Oh, dear. Okay. I listen. I'll go to Gordana. And I'm going to ask you, why on earth have you chosen such a difficult sector to get in? Weren't there easier sectors? What gave you the courage as a woman to start a university, and why did you feel the need?
Okay, thank you. So I had a dream that I'm going to work in a huge maritime company, travel around the world and blah, blah, blah. But by the time when I finished my university, situation in Croatia was not very well. That was in the middle of war. So all the maritime company that we had in Croatia fell down, and actually I needed to look for something else. I started my career in a States company, and after a few years, I realized I'm so boring. I need to do something else. I quit my job. I came home and I told my mother, I'm quitting my job, and she said, "You're not normal. I'm going to send you to the doctor." Because who is quitting a job, in Croatia by the time? No way. But I did it. By the time I continued to go and study, I applied for my master at economic faculty. Somehow I got opportunity to work at the States University, which actually put me between the people that by that time I was thinking they are little gods, our professor at university. But once when I became a part of them, I realized they are just a normal people, more or less normal, I will say. So after the while, I went back to the business sector, but on the corporate, it was very nice to be on the top of one huge corporate in petrochemical industry. But I realized that I don't feel happy, and that the most happiest time I had in a class with young people. So I decided to go back in education sector. I started to teach at one private university. They offered me a position which was quite interesting. And one day I was sitting on the beach with a friend of mine. We have our women's rule to have half an hour quiet, just watch on the sea and not talking anything. And I broke that rule, and I said, I'm fed up about everything. I'm going to open my own university in our town. And she said, yeah, you can imagine. No possible. So, well, we will see. So I realized once when you start to reach to something, when you really have inside sign that you need to do something, you start to you start to go to your goal, and the goal always somehow comes to you. So by the time that I was reaching a possibility how to open the private university, um, just on one coffee I met the lady, and I was telling her my dream. And she said, oh, well, I know one lady from Germany who wants to open something like that in Croatia. Maybe I should put you in contact. So she put me in contact with another lady, and after maybe months, I start to teach at this German university. And because in the beginning, I told them that I would like to do something like that in my town. After 3 months, I get first contract with them. So I started from the time when I said I'm going to open my university till my first presentation, it took just 10 months. I don't know. I knew it's that I was the most happy person when I was working with the students, when I was working in education, not in a business sector, not in a states company, not in a corporate sector. And I just started. I didn't have a clue what I could expect. I didn't have a clue which kind of problem I will find on my way. I didn't have a clue about anything except that I really believe it, that we with education, we can, with new aspects or new approach to education, we can make a change in our economy, in our states. So after a few years, somebody recognized that and they gave me awards. And finally I said, okay, now I have a proof that I know what I'm talking to my students. I think when you first of all, when you are happy and when you work something that you really like, and when you, of course, when you work hard, the results will come definitely.
Thank you. So, maritime petrochem education, those don't sound like sane choices, but definitely it seems from your happy smile you made the right choice.
Well,
And
when
your
you're
results speak for itself.
yeah, when you're entrepreneur, you have to be a little bit crazy, I think.
I think so too. And Tijen, so you did something similar after a very set life for over 30 years and having a job. When you gave up and you started Power of Happiness, did people think you were taking a crazy leap, and why did you do it?
Yeah, in fact, I'm an electrical engineer in the very basic background. So I worked for IT industry for many years, 13 years with an American company, NCR, and then 6 years as the general manager of Apple in Turkey. And then somehow my second career started. I moved to media industry and worked for Doğan Group for more than 10 years as the steering committee member responsible from marketing, sales, and business development, including some internet development. So I did my first entrepreneurship with Doğan's money, but built 13 websites, including Milliyet.com.tr, Fanatik.com.tr, and Classifieds, which is human resources, state, real estate, etc. And then somehow I was eager to continue with my professional life, but some strange thing happened, and you may heard about Ergenekon. I am blamed being a part of Ergenekon for 3 days only, and this changed my whole life, whole career. In fact, when I left Hürriyet, I tried to find another professional job, but I couldn't. And then I decided that, okay, I have so much experiences and so much savings. My capital is, in fact, my network and my experience up until today. So I should build my own job and I should continue like this. And that was a turning point. I mean, it's from a crisis, a new opportunity born, in fact. And I'm very happy because before I was touching only one company and team of mine to make them happy and to make them efficient, to work, to motivate only my team. Now I'm motivating almost all the companies, giving some workshops, some conferences, some talks. So I'm very happy to do that. I mean,
What's the company doing?
my company, we are giving consultancy and some workshops to the companies to engage people, engage their personnel to the work, to work happier.
Very clear. And it seems you were both on a quest of purpose. Yours came after what some might call a tragedy, but you came
Exactly.
out of it rising with positivity. Beautiful. And Leyla Hanım, I would like to ask you, how did you go about finding your purpose and what gives you the courage to do what you do today so well?
So well, I don't know how well I do it. We'll see. We'll see. This is to be seen. First of all, thank you, Tuba, for respecting my wish. The reason why I wanted to speak third is because I wanted to be inspired, which I am. First of all, you heard with your own eyes that women have the obstacles already at home. Not her mother believed in her, if I heard well, and her best friend didn't believe in her. I mean, the way we start is really from below zero, definitely and always. You have the closest people that you think know you, not believe in you, and encourage you. I don't know if it makes sense to you, but I think this is the most dramatic thing to begin with, because only if there is a will, there is a way. If you already at home are not encouraged and supported and motivated, you can imagine how difficult it would be to sell your idea, to sell your dream, or to find money, an investor, if you cannot convince the closest ones to yourself.
Absolutely.
So usually you have to spend a lifetime like Tijan did in a way, and built up that network, which is her, definitely her asset, her network. It was her, her capital. Exactly. So for some reason, I've been in those women's issues since the very beginning. I was always in it, not when it became the trend or the fashion. I am truly a feminist, not a newborn, because after I came back from the States from studying, for some reason I had the chance to go to American Women Entrepreneur Association, something
Yes.
like that. But that's how if if you see good role models at early age, I think you are luckier. That's when I was lucky, I think. But I created my own luck. Nobody forced me to go to those conferences. I was interested to go to those conferences and hear something new rather than doing the shopping or whatever, having coffee with my girlfriends.
It's a choice.
So I wanted to hear something new, and I think that inspired me a lot, because I heard at the time, well, that will show my age maybe, but I'm never ashamed of my age. I love it because that's how I came here. The Body Shop, she doesn't live anymore, but Anita Rodnik, who started with her neighbors or her uncle's 1,000 pounds, the Body Shop. If you remember, when environmental, all this was just starting, it was really the future. She could see it. And Faith Popcorn, who talked about trends. I even had the chance to listen to Ivana Trump. I never forget, she had said this expression, you don't know, a woman is like a tea bag. You don't know how strong she is until you put her in hot water. So that's from her that I had heard it. I still retain it. I'm sure she was in many hot waters many times. And boiling actually. So this whole thing, the ecosystem, the environment helps you to feel that way. I think with that in mind, when I came to Turkey, I thought the same environment will continue, but I created it. You know, I was always in putting women together. And there was Sıdıka Atalay at the time, who is, of course, a bit older than me. There were many women that were, very wanted to get together and wanted to encourage the young generation, wanted to be good role models. So, and I never gave up. I was always in those circles, and it became my lifestyle. It's nothing new to me and I never complained or never realized actually the obstacles we actually have. Even though I'm a sole female family member, and just because I am a female, I had other lesser titles and also money for sure, even though it was a business, family business. I realized that I was paid less, that I automatically was not, whatever my brother and my male partner was. So it's interesting how you find it normal, natural, not to accept this. That's why I'm here today to tell, don't take this to the younger generation. They don't have to go through the same hassles. Why? It's a pity. And in today's world, women are really outgoing, and they are, of course, accused to be aggressive, even though they are assertive. But they are always accused or mobbed with those words. But with people like us, who have been there, who have done it, and who can talk about it, we raise this awareness, which is, I think, more precious than any money you can make.
Absolutely.
I find it very precious, and I find it very, how do you say, manevi tatmin, very,
Satisfactory.
yeah, but it's really more, it's very satisfying, but also it's very, yeah, exactly. It gives you such a
Serenity.
exactly. So it's not measurable in dollar or euro or Turkish lira terms. So exactly, it's very meaningful. You can be sure that I have more important things to do, but has been always my priority. That's why we have to set our priorities. Priorities are very important, and for my generation's women, I think the priority should be for sure to encourage the younger ones, so that they don't go through the unnecessary, obstacles that we went through. It's to raise awareness. If you turn your antennas and then you capture. So even though I see that the room is not full, I know that through social media, those messages will be repeated and will reach many more women and men, hopefully, because
Hopefully,
they are the ones who are
Supporting.
also in the game. Thank you.
Thank you. So this brings me to the second round of questions, and three important issues have popped up in this round. One is women's ability to build their networks and go out of their boundaries, go out of their comfort zone, and to embrace new lifestyles, even though it may be challenging. The second is on how on earth do we sustain and grow what we are doing? So financially, I think everybody has a different set of challenges. Some might have more money than others, but management of that and being included fairly in an equation where male dominancy is still a factor globally, how do we take that to the next step? How do we base financial inclusion based on effort and not on gender, or based on outcomes, not on gender? And the third one is basically, is innovation and technology going to ease the path in any way potentially for our younger generation? And how can we ensure that they don't go through the unnecessary hurdles and problems that technology might be able to ease? So Gordana, I'm going to ask you, when you were setting up the university and you were putting together the plans, of course, to set that up, licenses, real estate, etc., but how did you come about the financial means, and how did you make that work? Did you educate yourself, or did you just dive into it and make it happen?
As I said, actually, I had just a dream. I didn't have a money. So the first money, I borrowed the first money from my uncle, who also he didn't have a clue what I'm talking about, honestly. But he was definitely the only person who probably saw something in my eyes or felt something, and he borrowed me the first money to open a company. And then I started to, that was like a wind in my back, in the beginning. And in the beginning also, I spoke with few people, and I offered them like shares in this university college. The three of them accepted. That was some help for me in the beginning. After a few years, two of them, they went out. I still have one stakeholder, but just 10% in them, 90% it's mine. It's not easy in the beginning, definitely. By that time, in Croatia, it was not possible to get any credit or any loan in the beginning of the business. It doesn't matter if you're a woman or man. Even now, it's not so easy. It's better, but not so easy. You know how they said, this is a 4F, like either you borrow money from friends, family, funds, or fool. I was lucky that my uncle recognized something, even that he was not sure what. I'm sure if you ask my parents today what I'm doing, I'm not completely sure if they would know how to explain, but of course now they are very proud, and my friend is very proud. Yesterday when the photo with our president came up on the media, she's now living in Nigeria and working as a dentist. So immediately she sent a message, "Oh my God, I'm so proud of you," and she is. I know she's honestly so proud, but yes, she didn't believe, and even in the beginning, when I was talking about my dream and my idea, I could recognize, honestly, I could recognize in the eyes of people that they think I'm a little bit not crazy or not normal. And if somebody around you thinks that you are not normal, who is going to invest in you, in your idea? So, but there was family, there was uncle, then there was a few friends. And I just started. In the beginning, I didn't have time to think about problems. I don't think about problems now as well. I'm always focused on a solution, not on a problem. Come on, what is the problem? I mean, that's just an issue that you need to sort out on your way. I feel really lucky that on my daily basic work, I have opportunity to change, at least to try to change the mindset of young girls. And I don't have my kids, but I know that I already had the influence of so many life and so many other kids. And that's something that is most important in my business. There is, there is no money that can return these feelings when you, after a few years of study, when you are giving to some person, either a man, boy or girl, diploma, and you're putting her or him to the right way. and that your door is open, it's always open for them. And it's even, today I have so many very successful students who are either professional athletes or they are in the business. And if I just gave them a small tip or small things or small support in their business or personal development, I think I did what I wanted in my life.
Thank you. So it's very clear that you did not take a financial course, you did not get certified.
I didn't have that.
Did you have a business plan at least? Just that, yes or no?
Of course not.
Oh, I
But
knew
you
it.
know that's the one of the first lesson when I'm teaching entrepreneurship or SME to my student. Business plan, it's a very important things. But
Yeah.
honestly, I don't know many people who did it in the beginning. Yes, of course, I did it later when I needed. When I went to new building, when we
I'm
need
sure.
some investment. Now I'm doing, because we just took a place where we are going to build this digital innovation hub. I need somebody to follow
Clear.
me with financing, but no, in the
Yes.
beginning.
So to start something so structured as a university in such an unstructured way, you're a very unique person.
Actually,
And,
you know what I had? I had, because but the first time when I said I'm going to open the university, first maybe 2 months I was joking about that. And then one day, another friend of mine, she was having a coffee in my apartment. She said, enough, you're just joking. You should do something. And she printed on a piece of paper, so, just a piece of paper, that's only what I had. And it was written, I have a vision, I have a goal. It was October 2006. In June 2007, I had the first presentation.
beautiful, beautiful. Tijan, I know that you had your hands full with so many internet companies that you were also running before you founded your own. I want to understand from you, if you could possibly guide us as to how can we essentially enhance the understanding of female business owners, investors, financial management, financial inclusion through technology and through means of the new world of virtual platforms.
Still, the technology is moving ahead so fast. It is almost impossible to catch, especially our generation, to catch what's going on. I'm giving lectures in Bahçeşehir University on marketing. And this year, on purposely, I changed my subject and I gave digital transformation and Industry 4.0. I thought, because since 5 years I didn't deal too much with the technology, just I'm a user, but I'm not a developer. And I suddenly understood that things are completely changed. So it was very hard for me to give such a lecture for 14 weeks. But I learned a lot again. Technology is moving so fast and we have to catch it. And unfortunately, I can see that women are more reluctant to catch this change. And that's why sometimes, for example, maybe there are policies, regulations, some incentives while you're building your own company. Men can reach that through the technology easier than women. That's my observation. Unfortunately, we have to be more technology oriented and follow the technology. So we have to ongoing students. Otherwise, there's no way we can catch it.
So to catch it, give us an action item. What should we do?
There are definitely some open courses. Some universities are giving ongoing courses. We have to somehow go and take those courses from time to time. Definitely, we have to be an ongoing student. in this life.
Continuous learning
Continuous
and
learning.
self-development. I think I'm going to ask Leila Hanum, who is building a community of viewers on LinkedIn. And there are those ladies that in the new generation, even business owners and business goers, who are promoting their daily activities. Oh, this is what I ate. This is where I am. This is what I wore. That's absolutely fine. Becoming a social media phenomenon is fine. But what you're doing is you're building a community around the ideas. Your learnings, if you meet somebody that you really enjoy, you want to share that learning with the rest of us. And that's a self-absorbed responsibility that your years of being in such places has brought on. How can we encourage others to do the same? How can we, maybe people don't feel so comfortable on camera. I'm not comfortable on camera, but I want to share and help build a community. How can we bring about in women the sense of community? Even when we're angel investors, one of the least participating investors are women in angel investor communities. That sense of responsible communities, how could we do more of them?
Don't think that it was so easy for me to speak the new language of technology. I am a very late bloomer on Facebook. Actually, I never went to Facebook. I started with Instagram, believe it or not. And because I was not interested in finding my 2-year-old friends from the kindergarten that would, ask for a job or, I don't want to know what's happening in their lives because I don't even remember them. Anyhow, I skipped Facebook. I started with Instagram. Then besides saying, showing off, and satisfying your ego, there is so much to learn and so much to teach. My passion is learning and obviously sharing what I know. So that was an endless arena. So it gave me a real high. It really made me very happy. That was my happy place, and that's where, it's like going to do sports. For me, I'm an efficient and a very effective person. I use my time very well. In the car, I set my priorities right. By that time, I learned that time is very precious. So maybe it was time for LinkedIn after. I'm only active on LinkedIn. Maybe this is the second year, not even. And it's the platform that I like most because it's where I belong. That's what that's what I learn and what I hear something new. And I definitely hold myself back from not writing something not so sweet when they put the pictures of 2 cats playing or the baby, smiling. This is so ridiculous. I mean, it's a disgrace. I'm ashamed on those people's behalf. This is not the platform. Go back to Facebook. Go back to Instagram. Everything has its place. I certainly try to make my best to really see if, even if it's something that is not directly business, which it happened a couple of months ago, I felt the necessity to explain why I put it on LinkedIn. There was a message which was related to business. Anyhow, long story short, those social platforms are certainly very precious for networking, for being seen and to see. Today, it's a different world. It's a lucky world. People who have an idea, people who can tackle a need, where they can see a niche, they can really make it known, and they can reach money and connections so much easier than our times. I mean, when I think about it, my story, some people know when I started to sell belts in the States, we had to go through the yellow pages and find that doesn't make me very young, but at least we had some, different kind of getting the resources. And my Coming to entrepreneurship, my idea about it is that you become an entrepreneur only by accident. You don't, I don't understand what they teach you as for entrepreneurship in the university. I don't think that this is to be taught. That's my modest idea because I twice became an entrepreneur by accident. First, by selling belts. I started this small leather goods industry from Turkey, exporting big time today to the States. And second of all, I had enough of the family, also this corporate culture of Alarco. I said, I'm going to do my own public relations consultancy company where I didn't have anybody that I knew gave me any opportunity, any job, or they probably didn't want to get near me thinking that either I would ask too much money or whatever. But the French, that's why I have this Légion d'honneur medal, because the French found me, the Aerospatiale Alcatel Eurocopter at the time, and Turkey was launching the first satellites of Turksat. So that's the time I was involved, and I was doing their public relations, and I have, of course, amazing memories from that time. So first of all, I don't think you become an entrepreneur just thinking that, yes, I want to study entrepreneurship and I'll become no. You become an entrepreneur by seeing a niche, a need, a lack, and you have enough courage to believe in yourself that you can make a difference and charge for it. So I think the enthusiasm, the not taking no for an answer, and always coming up with a plan B or a C in case of a crisis makes you an entrepreneur. And I believe in transparency, especially in today's world. There is nothing that will be hidden. Even our likes and our maybe things that we would really keep to ourselves will not be even to us. In case you didn't read or you want to read Hariri's latest book, he says that every choice you make will tell you what will come in front of you. So it's a different world, and to understand it, we cannot deny it. I'm from the ones, if I don't want to deny it, I should be included. I should be in it. I have to learn the Snapchat to follow my kids' Miami crazy music festival, whatever. So either you stay in the game or you become a spectator. So I'd rather be in the game and enjoy. And I think there is a lot to learn from the youth. I like to be surrounded with the youth. I think they are much more interesting. And to say in our time it was different, this is all bullshit. And it's really, we have to adapt to them. We have to use this reverse mentoring, and the joint forces can create actually miracles. So everybody can do something in that game. And I think it's an amazing, business has no age, no gender, no nationality, no religion actually. It's the ideas and it's the will to make it happen and realize. But of course, the ethics, the morality of the people matter a lot. If you speak the same language of ethics, of morality, chances are that partnership or that togetherness will last longer. And just to finish, I believe that in business, especially when there is an idea and the person that brings the money, an exit plan should be talked from the very beginning. Of course, it's not easy. It's actually the hardest part, but I recommend that you do the hardest part at the very beginning, and that's the best test to start that partnership. If you can draw an exit plan together at the very beginning, this is like making a prenup with the person you will be marrying. if you can make a prenup, if you can talk about it, you know, in case we divorce, who's going to take the kids and who's going to do what? It's not easy to talk at this stage of muchi times. So, you know, it's also in business. You get everybody's excited. There's no money to share yet. You know, so if you can talk about an exit plan in case we don't get along, in case my cousin wants to be involved, in case I want my sister to sell our products, or in case I want my new boyfriend to come and teach or become the dean in the university. You know, and never say no way. It comes very fast.
Don't mix
Just
pleasure
don't say no.
and business.
But what I mean is, it's very hard to talk about the problems when they arise. It's better, my modest recommendation is to talk about an exit plan in the very beginning. And if you can have a good conversation, that means chances are that partnership will survive. Thank you.
May I add just a small
Sure.
point on the technology? Out of 12 biggest companies in the world, 7 of them are the platform business. So everything is going on the platforms. I mean, it means like social medias. I mean, Amazons, Airbnbs, I mean, Facebooks. These are all huge businesses in platforms. So the way to look at the customer, how customer thinks, the way do innovation, the way look at the competition, everything is changing. So in order to be an entrepreneur, we have to be in a different environment. So we have to learn that environment. I mean, it's not just, you know, being in a social media or to use the facilities, but the way how we look at the environment is completely changing. So women should be on the up to date and see how innovation is going, how the competition is going. These are we have to be really on time.
Absolutely. Very well said. We
And-
have, I'm going to ask
Uh-huh.
you a question. So sorry, because we have exactly about 10 minutes,
Okay.
and I will need 1 minute from each of you for the last round of questions, and then I have to ask the audience if they have any questions. Because two very important points arise. Doing the dirty talk. When you apply for a job, to ask for the salary upfront. And how do I get promoted? How does my career advance? When you are about to become a co-founder in a new startup or you're raising funds, how will you hold me accountable for my shares? When is my exit? As you said, that's a very valid point. We women usually find the dirty talk a little bit harder. And we are coming into an era where after 10 years, we're going to be working side by side with AIs and robots and whatnot. The new generation will have even bigger challenges for soft skills. So you being in the education sector, how are you tackling that? Not precisely teaching entrepreneurship, which I do agree is accidental, but how are you tackling, promoting that in the new generation, Gordana?
Well, first of all, I also agree about these things about entrepreneurship, and actually, from my point of view, entrepreneurship is actually it's a style life. So it's something that I remember by the time when I was thinking to start my job, I said, okay, I'm going to have more free time. Actually, then you realize that you don't have free time at all. So, okay, you have a freedom, which is also, but the freedom always bring much more responsibility for this, what you're doing. From my point of view, I think all those new generation, that their mindset, it's really different. So, I hope so, and I'm working on that they have a more confidence once when they are approaching for a job or either they are starting their own business. The issue that we have in the beginning of our business about the financing, about the negotiation somewhere, these days I really have feeling that has been changed a little bit. So I'm not scared about the new generation. The young girls had the young girls, they have a different kind of attitude in the beginning. So I'm not sure if we are going to completely be possible to be in the same position as maybe males colleagues, but the question is maybe we don't need that. I mean, I still want to be a woman. I don't want to negotiate or have dirty jobs or dirty business conversation as my men colleagues. And the factors around us are changing. The mentality of younger girls are changing. So I don't think so that we can completely prepare them. But what we can do, we can give them with our story, with our maybe mistakes, example not to do. On the other hand, everybody learn more from their own mistakes. That's true, and we cannot escape for these things and accept something else. But if our story can make somebody else to make less mistakes, then already we done enough.
Wonderful. Tijan Hanım, you are dealing with the young corporate employees as part of your daily work, and you see, and earlier on you told us it's only 10% of the happiness comes through money and material goods. 50% is in your genes, so it's the other 40% that we need to work on.
Exactly.
I really want to hear a bit more from you, because happiness network and all the things that we do as women, and when we say we want to be empowered, we actually want to feel happy and content with what we're doing, that we're delivering beyond our own expectations. So how do you go about telling them about being happy?
Yeah. First of all, there is a really major difference between the young generation, how they look at the business, and how and our generation. So we have to understand each other. That's first of all the number one thing. The other thing is we are very focused as the old generation on the targets, on the results. Everything is results. There is no concentration on relations. The new generation looks for better relations. They want to be seen. They want to be appreciated. So first of all, we have to learn to see them, to appreciate them, and to understand the value of the relations at the working environment. Definitely only 10% comes from money or the title you have, your marriage, your family life. The 40% you have to learn. I mean, you have to really give some focus on how to get happier. First of all, for yourself, and if you are the boss, for your team. The first step is to aware about yourself. Everything should be aware of what's your strengths, what's your weaknesses, what's your goal, what do you find in your job. The meaning is very important, especially for young generation. If they don't have any meaning in what they are doing, it's a total failure. I mean, I have students from financial industry. They are asking me, I am just giving signatures and I'm just printing some papers in front of the cash. How can I be happy? But they have to think while they are signing a paper, what value they are contributing to the customer. Somebody else. Maybe that person is paying the school expenses of his child, or getting married, or closing a loan. I mean, there's a meaning. The important thing is you have to teach the young generation or your team to find a meaning out of what they're doing.
Wonderful. And Leyla Hanım.
There are so many things to tell. I mean,
I
it
am
takes
sure.
a day.
I would love
to talk about.
Renata, if we may actually look for a workshop next year on the power of happiness for the Female Investment Committee. This is something I think will add us all a great value. Leyla Hanım, if I may ask you, We are a global platform, and finding that global unity and dialogue over female empowerment and financial inclusion, so many platforms such as the World Bank, United Nations, etc., are trying. But I believe at the core, we really need to listen to each other more and understand each other more. Whoever meets me says, oh, I never thought Saudi was like this. I meet somebody from Croatia and I say, oh, I never thought Croatia was like this. You know, there is always our stories as to where we come from and how we unite our efforts into, you know, I have 2 startups in Saudi Arabia that want to come to Turkey, Turkish startups that want to go to Dubai, etc. That network that we so profoundly enjoy in our local communities, how can we build it more efficiently at a global level, not under such a, official title, but rather out of our goodwill, a compassion for each other, and united women across the globe?
First of all, it's much easier today, as we are here today, from all different countries, and we already have lots in common, and it looks like we will be doing business, at least I will be doing, because I just met 2 Croatian ladies, and I have a big building to rent or to sell or to make use of in Split. So I know the 2 ladies that I can cooperate with or will introduce me to the ones. So it's also not, I don't want to say smart, but it's to recognize, you know, the opportunities. Some people recognize more. For example, I would have loved to work for Tijan because I would be the best chief motivation officer or a chief happiness officer.
Exactly.
I mean, in my new life, that's how I will be. Definitely, I will do that. Yeah, because it's so easy actually to become happy and to really see the bright side. But it's also genetic, unfortunately. You can not have a naturally depressed person become easily happy.
It's 50%.
Yeah, it's at the hardest times of my life. I survived without Prozac, or without any of that shit. You know, it's just, you know, it's a question of character. It's the way you see things. It's, you know, it's always it's a lot has to do with character. And how much you value yourself, you like yourself, how much you get to know yourself, accept yourself. And this whole thing comes, thank God, with age. And I am a mentor to many young people, but I can facilitate some things in their lives, but I cannot tell them not to do, because you have seen that film before. You know that he or she is in a bad relationship. That will not last long. It's a poisonous relationship. You can see that, but they have to go through that in order to see for themselves. There are things we as human beings, we don't allow ourselves to tell others, because they have to do their own mistakes in order to learn the hard way. By speaking to the crowd, we can say many things, but on a personal level, it's not that easy to tell that the danger is coming, the accident is going to happen, you know, all that. So the best learning is self-learning. The more you make mistakes, the better you become, I think.
If I can jump in, I think it's the most important thing to learn the new generation is a choice. They have to know that there is always a choice, and that's the most important thing. Make your life, make that you have a choice in your life.
Sorry, but why do we have to make the new generation so happy? Is it our job? Let them find their own fucking way. I mean, this is becoming such a hysteria. How are we going to deal with Generation Z? How are we keep them in the job? If they need the money, they'll stay in the job. What are you talking about? If they don't need the money, they can go anyhow, whatever they want.
Well,
And why
anyway,
it
they will
becomes
make
such a
some mistake.
paranoia to take this new generation so seriously? I mean, we had our own problems. We had our own challenges. The managers who dealt with us had problems to communicate with us. So, you know, it's the same. Life goes on. There are things that are, you know, the same.
But
So
yeah, but
we
if you
will
share-
take. Why are we so? I have two sons. I'm like at their service to make them happy, to do my best, and they are never enough happy, of course. So I gave up, and I'm not trying to make them happy at all.
I fully agree.
I mean, why should I? Why am I being at their service so full time? They should make me happy.
And you
I am
do.
the one who provides everything. Excusez-moi. I mean, it's like
So, I think
we are in the
sorry.
business of providing. You know, providing. We got to learn how to take. We got to learn how to receive, and how to be
Giving and
provided.
sharing, giving and sharing.
well, as you can see, an extremely activist and optimist panel here, and I'm of the same opinion, to the point my kids were not allowed to say they were my kids around my friends till, at work, till they reached a certain age, and people figured out this poor kid who's on the photocopying machine 24/7 is her son. So they got the worst jobs that I could hand them out. Everybody has to learn how to be happy with themselves, and I think that's the lesson learned even for the men in the audience. You have to, when you're hiring a new female or you're investing in a female startup, make sure she is an optimist to the level she won't give up. She'll die before she gives up achieving that result. Sorry. I'm going to open the floor for questions. We have time for 2 questions, so I guess here we go, Maria.
Yeah, first of all, it's very interesting that from our audience, more than 70% are male. That's
I noticed
very
that.
encouraging,
I noticed
and
that.
applause for the men. Thank you very much for being here. Okay, just a question for the ladies. Through your entrepreneurial journey, have you cooperated better and more with female partners or males? Meaning, have you surrounded by female or by male?
Okay, I'll take shortly, starting from Cordana, male or female?
Both.
Which one was more? No, you didn't feel?
I will need to count now, but no, I think it's similar, more or less.
Okay.
Independent in which time, of my entrepreneurial journey. Yeah, my mentor at university was a male. When I started my job, actually one nice lady helped me with some advice, and then, well,
Okay.
More clear, do you feel more safe to be surrounded by male or female? To trust a male?
I feel more safely with the person that I feel that I can believe. I don't
Not
have a problem
gender-based.
with the
Yeah.
gender. Honestly.
Tijan?
I'm sorry. I went, for example, in high school. By some circumstances, I went to men high school. So it was 18 men and 6 women. So I need to find my way how to survive.
Just a statistic. In general, 70% of both male and female prefer to work with male directors.
Yeah.
This is the fact. 70%.
Leila Hanım? Male or female more around you that you feel happy working with?
Only testosterone around.
Which is absolutely fine. I'm always the only girl in the room. I work in a very male-dominant country, but we have had female inclusion over the last 10 years, so it's been progressive. But I have worked in all female environments, and the only time I actually grew in my profession was when I was in a male environment, where I was recognized for my outcomes. So I have to thank the gentlemen in my life, including my husband and my dad, who have pushed me. So, and for my sons, I completely agree. They don't need to be happy. Here is the second question. And I need a question from a gentleman after this, if we have time for one more afterwards. Yes.
Good morning. My name is Kerry, and I run two things, information and then a question. I run a female angel investing organization in Africa called Rising Tide Africa. So to answer your question, your question the other time, what we try to do is, in order to get participation from the globe, from other parts of the continent. We leveraged on Rising Tide Europe and the Netwave in the US so that they can invest in Africa. So we set up Rising Tide Africa, and we're establishing a fund in Mauritius that will allow cross-continent and cross-border investments. Right. The second thing is that I'm an entrepreneur. I run an IT consulting firm, and the question I want to ask is, are we as our generation trying to mold the new generation to become like us and not seeing that perspective that they are evolving at a different rate? Trying to say you need to do things standard, you have to come to the office when they want to work virtually. Are we not trying to mold them towards us? What are we doing? Because there's a difference in the generation.
Leila, Hanum, if I may point that question to you. The new generation, you just pointed out that we're not supposed to focus so much on them in terms of their happiness, but I'm sure we're supposed to let them learn their own mistakes and progress on their own. But should we have a mold for them, or do we let them find their own way?
I think the more you tell them, in our times it was like this, like that, the more they run away. I think the intention should be to find a common ground. And maybe, not maybe, it looks like it's going to be all management by objectives. People will be working from home. I was away the whole week last week, but I didn't feel like I was away. This machine keeps you on your toes all the time, you know. So it's a different world. The rules will change. The old generation obviously resists a lot, but I think it will be more management by objectives and results. You know, you deliver, you get paid, you become happy, you do whatever you want. You want to become a partner, you have to put up with the consequences. You know, I'm more of a realist. I'm a Taurus, so for me there is no fantasy land. This is reality. You either, you know, put up with the consequences or you find another way. There are consequences that we have to accept. People are reluctant to grow up, man. They really do. I mean, I see everybody chooses to stay, you know, as a child. To become an adult is to put up with the consequences. Is to grow up. Is to, you know, to realize there are consequences of your actions. And that will be their journey to accept the consequences of what they're doing. You know, if they work every summer during their studies, they will get to know more people to go and ask maybe for a job or anything. So our mission, I think our duty should be to let them at least think about what we offer. My kids, who are 18 and 20, I never had such conversations with my parents. I already tell them my challenges at work. I already tell them the problems I have at work. You know, maybe it's too early, but what do I care? Earlier the better. You know,
True.
Get ready for a even more difficult life and world. So, you know, to keep them in a cocoon, away from the realities, and you know, it's so
not
much
right.
worse.
Yeah.
It's so much worse to be this helicopter mom, to provide everything, and don't think that I don't provide. I'm there at their service. But at least I tell them that I'm aware that I'm at their service, and they should not expect such a service from anybody.
Very well said. So it's between the choice and realizing the consequences of their actions. I think your question is very valid, and we have to absolutely take the last question.
Yeah, we don't have to take the last question because
right.
We will continue. The next, it's so interesting. We could speak and chat here until the evening, and we will just switch places. I propose because the next panel is how can we help women take action through innovation. And we have another four great girls who will just continue this discussion. And please just switch the places. They will switch the names, and I think that's the best way of doing it. Yeah.